I get stories from viewers. Some of them are hilarious, and some of them will make you cry. I've gotten such a great response from my other videos with stories from viewers about in the parks, and I got a whole bunch more that I wanted to take some time and share with you. I've got a couple that just made me laugh, and a couple that just put a tear in my eye. And there's actually a couple here I haven't even read yet. The first one I've got here is from Jeff Richardson, and he writes, I really enjoy your channel and your recent videos. I thought I would share a story. The summer between my junior and senior years in high school, I worked at Kings Island. My job title was ecologist, but what I really did was keep the park clean with a pan and a broom. It was a great job because we walked around the guest areas, not like the ride operators that had to stay at the same ride all day long. It was actually one thing I really liked about being a photographer, was the ability to be able to just kind of wander a little bit, especially when I had the roving shifts. We also had a lot of guest interactions. Most of the time people asked where the nearest bathroom was or where a certain ride was. We would gladly help and see the guests on their way. Kings Island is a large park with different lands, and at the time the kiddie section was called Hanna-Barbera Land, which was named for the Hanna-Barbera production company that created so many great cartoons like Scooby-Doo, the Flintstones, the Jetsons. We rotated where in the park we work each day, and one day when I was working the Coney Mall land, my supervisor John just happened to be standing with me when a lady with several small children came up to us and asked, "Where is Hanna Banana Land?" Oh, I gotta love how guests don't have a clue what they're asking for. I know I shouldn't have, but her saying banana instead of Barbera made me laugh, and I couldn't stop myself. John, my supervisor, was super cool. He never laughed. Instead, he said, "Ma'am, I'm sorry my colleague laughed at you. You see, you said the name wrong. It's actually Harley Banana Land." That made me bust out laughing even harder. I almost fell down. John calmly directed her to the kiddie section and told her to have a nice day. Then when she and her children were out of eyesight, John too erupted in laughter. I think that's the hardest I ever laughed in my entire life, and it's a memory I've kept since then. That's what you gotta do when guests ask these questions. You gotta laugh. Hopefully not in front of them, but sometimes you can't help yourself. Hanna Banana Land. Oh, and then to get a supervisor with a sense of humor like that. That's awesome. We had a lot of fun with some of the crazy creative names that people came up with for stuff. Pass instead of Fast Pass, or Photo Pass. We heard that too. The picture card thingy. Spaceship Mountain, which I think was supposed to be Space Mountain. The exploding train. That was Big Thunder. I remember that one. It was like, the what? So, yeah, guests get some good stuff. And yeah, you send them on their way so that way you can then turn around and laugh. Here's a great one from Christopher Sternolio. I've had many good experiences visiting Anna and Elsa at Epcot's Norway Pavilion, as the performers who are friends with them always do a great job portraying the characters, but always treat me like I'm their best friend whenever I come to visit them. As a way of thanking them for the good job they consistently do, I decided to surprise them with some Lindt chocolate bars, since they love chocolate and I've seen other videos of guests giving them some. Ooh, Lindt chocolate. Yeah, that would definitely make them your friend. I visited the summer house a few weeks before Christmas. I wanted to make sure I was the last person in the room when I came to see them. This would not only allow the kids in front of me to go ahead and see them first, but would give me easier access to both girls' attention. As I'm waiting to see them, these two Japanese girls came in behind me, and I let them go ahead of me as I'm still trying to be the last person in line. Eventually I came up to Anna, congratulate her recent engagement to Kristoff, and becoming the new Queen of Arendelle. Oh, by the way, spoilers if you haven't seen Frozen 2. As we finished taking pictures, I asked her and her attendant if I can have her and Elsa's attention, as I had Christmas gifts for the two of them. Elsa comes over, gets my attention, and I present both girls with the chocolate bars as a thank you gift for the good memories they create whenever I come visit them. Both sisters start glowing with gratitude and give me hugs and thanking me for the gift. As I finish meeting the girls and getting my picture with Elsa, I notice the attendant telling Elsa that someone else also has a gift for them. I turn around and notice the Japanese girls presenting Elsa with a large gift bag. I stay for a moment to watch Elsa unwrap the gift, and I notice they gave Anna and Elsa a large assortment of Frozen-themed gifts, including mugs, plates, an Olaf spoon, and packages of tea and hot chocolate. I turned over to Anna saying that today was their lucky day and everyone was coming to pay homage to the new queen. I was surprised to see myself get one-upped by someone else giving a large elaborate gift after I presented them with something simple. Oh, goodness. The high and the low. Don't feel bad about your gift. It's such a neat thing, and something small and simple is wonderful to give the characters. The timing on that, that kind of a gift to the characters with the bags and all the stuff in it is extremely unusual. In 5 years, I saw something like that once, maybe. The candy bars and stuff like that, small little things I saw fairly often. I would see that once, twice a week. Yeah, never the big thing. And to have it right after yours. Oh, my goodness. And that's a terrible spot for the characters because, they're trying to make sure they know how much they appreciate yours. But at the same time, they've kind of let these others go. Oh. I'm sorry. That's such an awkward thing. Oh, such an awkward thing. I honestly, I can say I never saw something like that. Never saw a one-up in that regard. Oh, but I can guarantee you they loved your gift. I guarantee you they were very grateful for it. So, wow. That's just crazy. That's just crazy. Here's one from Michelle Hines. We took my niece and nephew for their first Walt Disney World trip to the same time as Hurricane Matthew. But the hurricane didn't bother us at all. The morning after Hurricane Matthew kept us in our rooms for 24 hours, we went to Hollywood Studios. This morning, my niece and nephew wanted to wear their "My Favorite Disney Villain is My Aunt" shirts. That's awesome. This came with a matching shirt of mine that said, "I'm the aunt." This obviously gave us almost a pic of the PhotoPass photographers. Oh yeah, they would have been eating those shirts up, and I want to get pictures of that. Yes, that was the kind of thing, if I saw that on a guest, you bet I wanted to get pictures. There was a man that was taking his time with the family, and I just liked how he was so personable. I knew that there was another photographer who wasn't busy, but I wanted this one. And that actually was part of the reason, too, why, yes, I had fun with the guests because I wanted to have fun and I wanted to make it memorable. But when the photographer, as I would say, puts on a show and makes it entertaining, even just to watch for other guests, it attracts more guests who want more pictures. So it's in the back of your mind, you're also going, hey, this is a good business thing, but you're also going, this is just so much more fun. So, yeah, this is a photographer who knows his stuff. Okay, so he set us up in front of the Chinese theater. We got some of the standard pictures. Then we decided it was time for us to get our magic shot. We were to make scary faces. We got ready, and just as the photo was being taken, my nephew ran towards his parents, who were standing behind him. But he was so happy, and we were wondering why. He explained he thinks the photo is going to be great because my niece and myself looked like we were chasing him. My nephew wouldn't come back for the magic shot, so it was just me and my niece and Mike Wazowski. We had to wait a couple hours to see the photos appear in PhotoPass, and he was so right. We returned to see if we could find him to thank him for capturing it, but couldn't find him. It was a perfect way to start back into the parks after the hurricane, and just one of the millions of examples of great interactions I have with great cast members. And it's such an awesome photo. The reason you probably couldn't find him is because the photographers generally rotate around, and they will move around over the course of the day. So while he might have been on Hollywood Boulevard there, he very likely moved over to Sunset Boulevard to shoot Tower of Terror, or maybe the Rock Courtyard where he was shooting Rock and Roller Coaster, or he could have even been bumped over to Toy Story and shooting pictures of Woody and Buzz. So anywhere in the park pretty much. So that's probably why you couldn't find him. He was off in another location. One of the nice things with the way they rotated is it keeps things fresh for the photographers. But yeah, you had an awesome photographer, and I love those shirts. Here's one from Todd Morgan. He says, back in 2013, my mom was diagnosed with cancer for the fourth and final time. Oncologists told her that with treatment, she'd have at most a few years. She loved Disney World, and we decided to take her one last time. Oh boy, don't make me cry here. Her oncologist told her that if she felt well enough to go, then go and have fun. We were able to set it up so we could go in between her treatments. The only requirement that her oncologist asked was to have her vitals taken while we were down there and have them sent to him. We arrived at our resort and asked where the closest hospital was so we could set up a time to take her over there and get checked out. The lovely CM, by the way, cast member, asked us to hold on for a minute and she would be right back. About 15 minutes later, she returned with her manager, and the manager told us they had secured a local physician to come to our resort room to get her vitals, and that they would make sure they got sent to her oncologist. We were in awe and eternally grateful that Disney went out of their way to have a physician come to the room instead of us going to their office. Ended up being one of the best visits to Disney World, as she got to see the reactions of her two eldest great-granddaughters visit the first time, and also to see me propose to my now wife in front of Cinderella's castle. Oh, Todd, don't make me cry. Awesome trip, awesome story, love stuff like that. The physician could have come from one of three places. They do have on-staff physicians at the first aid facilities. They also have their own medical clinic for cast members, so it's entirely possible that they called one of their own doctors from the medical clinic and said, hey, on your way out, can you stop by, do something like that. The other possibilities, they could have come from Celebration Hospital. They have some contacts with doctors there. But regardless, neat to go to make sure they could get the doctor to come to you instead of vice versa and take care of you that way. I love when Disney does that. I love that they give their cast members the ability to do things like that. And love that you had an awesome trip. Those are the bittersweet things where you're so grateful for the trip, and at the same time, it's so sad that it's the last one. Yeah, thank you so much. Awesome story. Here's one from Samantha O'Neill. She writes, my first story is from my first ever visit to Walt Disney World back in 2016 with my mom. It was our last day, and we were just reluctantly leaving our resort, Coronado Springs. I was really upset and trying not to cry, and by this point in our trip, I had become quite friendly with a few of the cast members. One gentleman, John, saw that I was upset as he was wishing us farewell, and asked me about our stay and who my favorite character was. That is such a hard question for me, and after that trip meeting everyone, it was even harder. I get that. That's why I try not to pick favorites, because I can't. But I said the mouse who started it all, Mickey. He told us to wait a moment, and came back and said that although he couldn't find what he wanted to find, he wanted me to have this gift from Coronado to me, and that we would see them all again soon. Out from behind his back, he pulled a Minnie Mouse plush toy. I cried and held her the whole flight home. So cool. And by the way, you are never too old for plush toys. I still have a few, and if you saw my daughter's room... Okay. My other story is from September 2019. I proposed to my girlfriend. She said yes, with a few pictures of me with Mickey and Minnie, Donald, Daisy, and Goofy. I held up the individual words, "Will you marry me?" and put them in a video. The next day we went to Magic Kingdom and took a trip to Pete's Silly Sideshow to say hi to the characters. We went and said hi to Goofy, and my fiancé starts telling him about how I proposed. Goofy asks, "Here?" And, "Me?" My cat. And it turns out that he remembered the day that I went to get the photos done with him, and when I told him my plan, my fiancé and I cried, and we had the biggest group hug with Goofy. So you proposed with Goofy helping out, holding up the signs, and then Goofy remembers it the next day. That is so cool, because the characters get to see so many people and so many things like that, and then when they actually get an opportunity to remember, that's just amazing. I loved when the characters got to remember my interactions and stuff, so that was awesome. Such cool stories there. Thank you, Samantha. Last one here from Amanda Willis. Says, I sadly have never worked at the theme parks, but I do have a wonderful story for you as a guest. In September of 2019, I went to Disney with my service animal, as I always do, but for the first time I was using my wheelchair. I was at Magic Kingdom, I was wheeling myself down Main Street, when all of a sudden my wheel got stuck in the train tracks. Oh, those tracks. Disney has tried to make those tracks better, but I saw so many wheelchair wheels get stuck in them. It's better now because they've narrowed it, but it still happens. And to get stuck when the trolley's coming? I was so embarrassed and started to cry because I was upset to have to use the chair in the first place. Next thing I know, this young cast member from the Emporium comes out and very kindly asked if he could help. I said yes, and he helped me get my wheelchair out, and also made sure nothing was broken or missing off the chair. He asked if I was hurt because I was crying, and I briefly explained it was my first time using my wheelchair, and it was a lot to handle. It's okay. It happens. That can be overwhelming. It really can. He then said if I was okay with it, to follow him into the Emporium. So I did. He walked me over to the pin wall and told me he had seen my pin trading pouch and told me to pick out a pin that it would be mine to have. That's cool. I loved when I was able to do stuff like this. So I picked my pin, thanked him, and we had a long hug. Then when he saw which pin I picked, which was a Merida pin, he told me you just need to be brave and strong like Merida. She fought through even when things seemed lost and helpless. I honestly started crying even harder, but it was one of the most amazing experiences I had. I love the picture she included, including the picture of the pin. So yes, that is the real pin that she got. Such an amazing story. Those ruts in the road caused a number of issues, so it was an opportunity too. We saw it as an opportunity when somebody did have a problem with those things. Yes, we'd help them get out, and then, hey, we got a point of contact. Let's have some fun here. And love the way that cast member responded. That is just amazing. I miss being able to do things like that. I really do. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you all for those who've shared stories. If you want to send a story in, send it to SirWillow@gmail.com, and I will definitely do this again. I love these stories and reminding me of all the time I missed out there as well. Thank you for hitting the like button and subscribing to. If you aren't getting my video notifications, make sure you got that bell hit so you get them. Be sure to check the description too. There's a ton of info there on merchandise and fan pages and stuff. If you want to know something, check the description. It's likely there. I also want to give a huge shout out to my patrons and my YouTube members. Their financial support is wonderful. They get a number of perks for helping me out and helping me get some of the pictures you saw in this video as well. Also, a huge shout out and thanks to my new patrons. I've got a couple of them here. So thank you to Phil Tierney. I hope I said that one right, Phil. And also to Casey Wood. Thank you so much for your financial support. It means the world to me. If you want to know more about Patreon and YouTube memberships, check the links down below in the description or at the end of the video too. Thank you so incredibly much for watching as well, and God bless. Hey everybody, I've got... Never mind. Spaceship Earth, when they're talking about... or the Rock Courtyard, shoot, rock and roll... I proposed to my girlfriend... Get myself straight here. I think my cat's censoring that one. I said yes. Would you stop? If you'd like to know about my merchandise, fan pages, and more, be sure to check the description below. If you'd like to know whenever I've got a new video posted, well, make sure you hit that button right up there and subscribe. If you'd like to watch another one of my videos, I've got a great one for you right here. And if you'd like to be like these wonderful people here and support me financially on Patreon, well, make sure you check the link right there. There's even some extra perks for them. Thank you so much and God bless.